We often think that science and technology today are more advanced than ever before. However, there are hundreds and thousands of years-old inventions that scientists still cannot explain. Some people believe that extraterrestrial civilizations or even mystical beings may have been involved in creating these technologies. In this video, we will try to explore this idea. Greek fire, the secret weapon of the Byzantine Empire, continues to generate a lot of speculation, even though more than 1,000 years have passed. It was a devastating weapon used by the empire against its enemies, especially in naval battles. It was so flammable that water could not extinguish it. When it came into contact with water, it became even more active, making it difficult to put out. What made the Greek fire even more remarkable was that the enemy armies captured the hot mixture from the Byzantines but could not replicate it. They failed to replicate the cannon that powered the fire, and this is not surprising since no one knows exactly what ingredients were used in the combustible mixture to this day. Greek fire was invented in the 7th century by an unknown inventor from Byzantium. It is believed that this inventor, named Kalanick, experimented with various materials until he discovered the perfect combustible mixture. After creating the formula, he sent it to the Byzantine emperor for approval. When the emperor received the formula, he ordered the development of tools based on it. This led to the creation of the siphon, a weapon that could shoot deadly fire at the enemy. The siphon had a powerful psychological effect on enemies, as it emitted a loud roar and produced a large amount of smoke, similar to the breath of a dragon. Due to its effectiveness, the Byzantines kept the formula for Greek fire a closely guarded secret. Later, a modification of this weapon in the form of grenades was created based on it. And although many opponents have tried to reproduce the secret of Greek fire, none have succeeded. To this day, nobody knows exactly the secret formula for this combustible mixture. There are various theories about the technology and ingredients, but researchers still don't have an exact answer. Damascus steel, a legendary material. For centuries, there have been legends surrounding steel from Damascus, a material known for its incredible durability, sharpness, and ability to break swords in battle. The owners of weapons made from Damascus steel became practically invincible, making it a highly sought-after material. In addition to its incredible strength and sharpness, the Damascus sword was distinguished by an unusual pattern on its surface, which resembled ripples. During the Crusades in the 11th century, European warriors learned about Damascus steel and were impressed by its sharpness and durability. However, the most significant aspect was that no one could decipher the secret behind Damascus steel, and no one in the world was able to replicate such weapons. There were numerous theories about how it was created, including some of the more bizarre ideas. Some suggested that the metal was fed to chickens before being harvested from their excrement. Others proposed that after forging, the swords were thrust into the bodies of muscular slaves in order to transfer their strength to the metal. These bizarre theories emerged because even scientists were unable to understand how Damascus swords were made. Gradually, firearms became more popular and swords lost their relevance. As a result, the secret of making Damascus blades was lost. Although blacksmiths could replicate the distinctive ripples on Damascus swords, they were unable to create a weapon that was as strong or sharp. The secret of Damascus steel was discovered by accident 40 years ago. Scientists were experimenting with creating super strong, elastic metals when they were able to replicate the quality of Damascus swords. However, they achieved this result by using advanced technology to control temperature and chemical composition, which was not available 1,000 years ago when Damascus swords were forged. It remains unclear how the blacksmiths of the past were able to create these legendary swords without modern technology. One theory suggests that Damascus steel was tempered with the blood of dragons. While scientists may be skeptical about this claim, the author of Game of Thrones, a famous fantasy series, was inspired by the history of Damascus steel when creating his legendary Valyrian swords. If you have watched the series, please like this post. The Lycurgus cup, a Roman glass bowl that has been preserved for over 1,600 years in the British Museum, was named after King Lycurgus of Thrace because it depicts a scene of him. This cup has a unique property that has puzzled scientists for decades. When light shines on the cup from the front, it appears green. When light shines from behind, however, it turns red. Recently, British researchers have studied the fragments of this cup under a microscope. They discovered that Roman artisans used nanotechnology over 1,000 years ago to infuse the glass with particles of silver and gold that were reduced to an incredibly small size. These particles are equivalent to 1,000th of a grain of salt. This discovery suggests that the Romans highly valued their craftsmanship. It also reveals the advanced techniques they used in their work. This is how nanotechnology works. When light hits a surface, it causes the electrons in the metal particles to interact, changing the color of the surface depending on the angle at which it is viewed. Scientists believe this technology has been around for over 1,500 years and could be used in the future to create incredibly sensitive sensors capable of detecting dangerous diseases or identifying criminals carrying illegal substances. A mysterious underground structure in Malta. In the early 20th century, while constructing sewers, builders accidentally discovered an incredible underground structure. Initially, they had no idea what they had found, so they used the site as a dump. Later, however, it caught the attention of scientists, and it turned out that the structure, called Halsoflieni, was more than 6,000 years old. According to archaeologists, this ancient structure was built by the inhabitants of Malta for collective burial purposes. Corridors and chambers were carved out of soft limestone, forming multiple tiers. Scientists believe that magnificent funeral ceremonies were held there. In total, Halsoflieni served as the final resting place for thousands of people. Artifacts such as beads, amulets, pottery, and carvings were discovered near the remains. Several halls in the temple are still decorated with black and white chessboards and other ancient drawings. One of the most interesting and mysterious discoveries inside the temple, however, is an unusually elongated skull. The shape of this skull is not the only thing that is unusual. There are also abnormally developed temporal bones and swelling on the back of the head. The cause of these abnormalities has been shrouded in mystery, and some have suggested that they may be the remains of aliens. This idea is supported by the fact that these anomalies are too strange for humans and that the skulls were on display in the Museum of Malta until 1985. Despite being removed from public view and requiring a special permit to view, the skulls remain a mystery to many. The process of obtaining a permit was difficult, further convincing those who believe in mystical theories that these skulls do not belong to our species. Elongated skulls have also been found in other parts of the world, such as South America. However, scientists were sure that these skulls were the result of deliberate deformation. In some cultures, this was done for religious or aesthetic reasons. The skulls were bandaged during human growth and they lengthened. But with the elongated skulls from the Maltese temple, things are not so simple. The researchers found that they are not the result of artificial deformation, which further convinced the supporters of the extraterrestrial theory. Based on the findings of local scientists, the Maltese authorities claim that these skulls belong to humans, but the reason for their unusual shape remains a mystery. By the way, do you share the opinion that there are alien civilizations out there? Let's discuss it in the comments. Ancient flying machines. Many of you have probably heard about the designs for flying machines created by the famous inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci. However, long before he was born, ancient India had its own ideas for flying machines, and some people believe that these machines were not only conceived but also actually built. These devices are known as vimanas or flying chariots, and they are mentioned in ancient Indian texts. According to these sources, vimanas came in different sizes and shapes and could not only fly but also swim and move across land. Additionally, they could adjust their speed and travel over long distances. Records of the design and basic operating principles of these vimanas have also survived. Moreover, there are Indian historians who believe that such devices were indeed built in ancient India and were even used as weapons. Another theory is that vimanas were not created by human beings, but rather were introduced into ancient Indian texts through the observation of extraterrestrial objects that landed on our planet. Scientists, however, Remain skeptical about the existence of these machines in the ancient world and consider them to be fictional mythical objects. Given that some texts claim that Vimanas had the ability to fly, including to the moon, it is likely that they were little more than fantasy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. Click on the bell icon to receive notifications of new videos, and don't hesitate to share this video with your friends.